It's day 3 of the 30 by 30 by 30 challenge, and it's quite early in the morning. I'm just about to head off to work, and as I do so, I'm about to embark on my 3rd challenge, and it's going to be one of my favourites today, I think. It's performing random acts of kindness. Just to clarify what a random act of kindness is, it doesn't have to be a big thing. I think a lot of the time people think you're making a gesture and it has to be a really big deal. It has to be like, let's donate loads of money or run a marathon or something like that, and they're all great, but sometimes it can just be the little things. It can be a text message, a smile, just extra attention or care. I should also point out that actually when doing a random act of kindness, the very random nature of it sort of precludes filming it, so it's not going to be a video like I've made before, because it's very difficult to do something random, often to a stranger, but be filming it at the same time. They're kind of naturally a bit suspicious anyway, because everyone in this society, I think, is a little bit cynical about strangers just being kind for no reason. So then if you start filming it, basically feels like a setup. So I'm afraid there's going to be very minimal footage. I'll just have to explain it. So with that in mind, my first act is going to be, well, it's going to be handing these cakes to my colleagues. Yay! I don't have a video of my friends eating cake because that felt weird to record, but let's just say that any cake, particularly surprise cake, when you have to work from just gone 7 AM on a Saturday, is very well received. So the first deed went down well. Just done another good deed, bought some sushi for like £1.50 at Yo Sushi and tipped the girl £5. And she absolutely loved it, and it's really dead in there, and she's got a whole Saturday to work, so I'm really pleased I did that. Just bought a bunch of flowers, now I'm going to go and give it to someone. This one was absolutely brilliant. Immediately after I recorded that little clip, a woman came up to me and she was quite excited, and she said, "Oh, I just saw you recording that, they must be for someone special." And I said, well, actually, they're for you. And she looked at me like I just handed her £1 million. It was amazing. So she said, "What? No, what do you mean? You were just recording that for someone, or you're on Skype with someone or something?" And I said, "No, I've just bought these flowers because I wanted to give them to someone who wasn't expecting it. And you were here." I don't believe in fate or anything like that, but the fact that she made the approach, it just felt absolutely right. She was just near the flower stall and she just bought flowers for her mother-in-law, and I thought, actually, what a nice thing for someone who was giving flowers to someone else to receive some themselves. Anyway, I handed them to her and she just gave me a hug and had the biggest smile on her face. If today's been about anything, it was that moment. It was just brilliant. Gonna see if I can buy someone a free coffee. Well, that was amazing. So I went into Costa, stood in the queue, and then a woman joined the queue behind me who was probably in her late 50s, early 60s, and I don't know, I find coffee shops confusing at the best of times, and I thought, well, that's a good way into a conversation, because the last thing I wanted to do was just run up to someone and say, "I want to buy you a coffee, can I do that?" It just feels weird. It feels like there's some odd ulterior motive behind it. Anyway, I got speaking to her and she recommended me a latte or a flat white. So having had her recommendation for the coffee, I said to the barista, "I'll have a latte please," and it turns out her name was Anne, and I'll get a flat white for Anne. She was amazed. She absolutely loved it. It was brilliant to see her reaction. We had a little chat and a goodbye afterwards, and it made me really glad that I did it. Didn't get off to the best start with my neighbours when we moved in just over a year ago. I think they saw 3 lads in their 20s, well, not for much longer, and just thought the worst. It led to sort of a very frosty atmosphere between us, and I think they were always a bit suspicious. So as a consequence, never really met them or knew anything about them. Anyway, I thought today I'm going to change that, so I knocked on their door, said hello, they invited me in for a cup of tea, stayed for an hour and chatted, and it was brilliant. It's really nice to have friends in the building. Yeah, I'm really chuffed. Right, just off to pick up the takeaway that I've ordered for me and my housemate's tea. Yes, takeaway got. Not only a good deed, but a good feed. I'm here all week, well, for the next 27 days.